Madam Chair, through you, this was last calculated in 2021. In 2021, it amounted to 32,692,000. Currently, the Netherlands, Sint Maarten, and Curaçao are all working together in accordance with the RFT to establish the collective sector. There were capacity issues at the Netherlands District Bureau, which led to a delay in the process. Even though the interest norm has not been officially updated, it is projected to be 4%, hence the reason we are able to take out these loans. This is also verified by CFT as it is included in the RFT, which is the exact reason we remain in close discussions with them when assessing the amount of capital investments we can include in the budget of the country. I'm going to move on to questions by MP Otley. When is it expected for the budget 2025 to reach Parliament, and where is it currently located? Madam Chair, through you, as previously answered, the 2025 budget is currently at Legal Affairs and will be sent to the Council of Advice for their advice. We hope to receive this back and send to Parliament for handling in November 2024. My goal remains to have this approved by December 15th, 2024. Next question. Minister stated that the tax programs are in the country package. What is the minister's update with recent article from the Netherlands to cut Caribbean investments? There are also talks of cutting the TWO, bearing in mind that these tax programs and other initiatives for government have been funded through the TWO by the Netherlands. If something has changed, has there been communication with the Dutch government to secure these investments and ensure that we can continue? Madam Chair, through you, the Ministry of Finance has already secured and received funding for both projects related to tax and financial management. These funds are allocated for the implementation of the new tax system and the ERP system, and they also cover the costs of third parties assistance currently supporting the ministry with both projects. Next question. It was stated that the debt to SZV was 113.7 or 130.7 million, according to the MP. What is the monthly amount requested for OZR? Is it the intention for 2025 to meet the required budget of SZV, or is it the discussion is still ongoing as to how we will supplement what is missing? Madam Chair, through you, the total outstanding amount is 113.7 million based on information provided by SZV. As mentioned previously, SWABE will review this figure to verify its accuracy. Currently, the monthly payment for OZR is 5.2 million guilders, while the requested amount was 6.5 million, which includes payments towards the outstanding balance that is part of the 113.7 million owed to SZV. Discussions will continue with SZV to decide on the best way forward to pay the outstanding balance. Next question. The MP stated he was happy to hear that Finn is supporting the tourist tax. However, what is the intentions of this government for the monies collected once the tourist tax is instated? It was estimated this would generate between $15 to $18 million yearly. What is the current plan? Madam Chair, through you, once we have received the advice from the Social and Economic Council on the legislation submitted to them, we will assess and determine which adjustments need to be made. Following this, we will carefully evaluate how the funds received can or should be allocated within the budget for continuity purposes. Next question. Minister mentioned CapEx not being guaranteed. While in the budget, the loan has to be approved. I want to make it clear that CapEx move to 2025 is not guaranteed. Madam Chair, through you, the process for securing a CapEx loan is as follows. First, the loan must be included in the budget of both Sint Maarten and the Netherlands. Only after this step can the Netherlands formally initiate the request for the loan. Once our budget has been approved by Parliament, the CFT must then grant Article 12 approval. After this approval is obtained, the funds are guaranteed and Sint Maarten can proceed with submitting its request for the loan. It is important that we are also in close communication with CFT beforehand to not include investments which they would not approve of, because this would mean that the entire CapEx would be at risk. Hence, the reason why all investments for the year 2024 were removed from the budget, with only 3 remaining. Of these, 2 are co-financed, the prison and the mental health building, and 1 is dedicated to GEBE, given the urgent need for reliable energy in St. Maarten. This decision reflects a prioritization of particularly the stability of our energy supply for the coming years. Next question. I would like to know, GB, a bid will be done when the request is approved. What is the 75 million based on? If no bid has been done, is the 75 million a safe projection? Why are we using specific company while no bid has been done? Madam Chair, based on the fact that the generators will be acquired by government, we will need to follow the procurement process as mentioned in Article 47 of the Accountability Ordinance. The question in reference to the 75 million and what is based on will be answered by the Prime Minister. Next question, 36 million question, June 12th to CFT. 36 million guilders was for GB. Why are we now seeing 75.6? Is this letter updated? I was speaking about the June 12th letter. Madam Chair, through you, in the letter sent to CFT, we initially stated the amount as $36 million, not guilders. However, based on discussions with GB and their technical experts, this amount was adjusted to $42 million. This adjustment was communicated to both CFT and BZK, as the loan request will need approval from both CFT and BZK. Next question. Minister spoke of her plans for the tax levy, her plans for profit tax, the reduction of wage tax, as well as her plans to increase compliance. How exactly do you plan to increase compliance? Madam Chair, through you, the new tax system is expected to significantly improve tax compliance. With this system, filing will become more user-friendly through electronic tax filing, e-filing, and payment systems, which will be accessible to all taxpayers, reducing the time and effort needed to comply. In addition, more frequent audits and inspections will also help to increase compliance. By increasing the number and frequency of audits, particularly in high-risk areas, we can ensure that enforcement is fair and transparent. That is also why it is critical to amend the law to include ATS in the legislation, as they will be able to assist in this area. Next question, with regards to the 1.5 million to GEBE, is this a realistic contribution? And what are GB's views on this? And are they able to live up to such a contribution? We need to learn from the past. Madam Chair, through you, in accordance with accounting standards and practices, revenue must be included in the budget based on accrual accounting. This means the correct amount owed for concessions in the year is accounted for, regardless of when or if these funds are received. The discussion about whether these amounts can be collected or netted off is a separate matter, but the full amounts must be accurately reflected in the budget. The only revenue that is not based on accrual accounting is tax revenue, which is projected based on the actual expected income for the year. Next question. It is also stated that the intention is for government to approve the amount for government to purchase the generators and then lease them. As it is said, we are not allowed to buy and lend the equipment. My question then is, are we allowed to buy and lease? It was said that this transaction was discussed with the Netherlands. Where is this allocated and what gives us permission to do so? Where in the realms of the law is this addressed? Madam Chair, through you, the loan currently being requested is based on Article 16 of the Financial Supervision Law, RFT. Under this article, the government is only allowed to secure loans for capital goods and is prohibited from lending these funds to third parties. Given the severity of the situation at hand with GBE, this matter was discussed with the Netherlands and a solution was identified to ensure reliable energy for St. Maarten. The collaboration demonstrates the importance of securing a stable energy supply for the country, and we are committed to working together to address this urgent need. Next question. 75.6 million, it was said. Insurance was not taken up in this budget. That is why it is important to know all the expenses. Now we are asked to approve 75.6 million without the complete picture. Madam Chair, through you, as previously mentioned, the details of the contracts still need to be agreed upon. The Prime Minister will give further details on this topic. The Honorable MP Myers, through you, Madam Chair, also posed a very important question asking what went wrong with the GB loan of some years ago and why it was never drawn. This is a question which will also be answered by the PM. Next question. Who will be responsible for the structuring of this government contract of 75.6 million? As an MP, I need all the information. I want not to approve the 75.6 and hear later down the line that GB cannot keep up with its obligations. Madam Chair, through you, regarding GBE, we can all agree this action is necessary, whether through the government or GB itself. If GB were to secure funding independently, they would still need to meet all of their obligations, likely at an interest rate of around 6 to 7%. However, by leasing the generators through the government, GB would benefit from a more favorable interest rate, which would be more beneficial to them, also taking into consideration their current financial circumstances. This lower interest rate would hopefully also help address the absurd fuel clause amounts being invoiced to the residents and businesses of St. Maarten. By reducing financial pressures, we aim to explore ways to alleviate the burden of high energy costs on the population, ensuring a more fair and sustainable approach to energy pricing. Whichever path is taken, as shareholders, we must take on our responsibility and ensure that GBE fulfills its obligations. It is crucial that we oversee the process and support GB in securing the most beneficial terms for the long-term energy stability of St. Maarten. And finally, the question posed by MP Arian pertaining to the legislation on tax holiday. Madam Chair, through you, a decision pertaining to this still has to be made by the new government. As previously answered, there is a follow-up meeting set with the working group Tax Improvement in the beginning of November, where we will go over all the details of the program. So far, a plan of approach will be agreed upon and the matter of the tax holiday can be discussed. This will allow the new government to make a well-informed decision taking into account the broader context of the overall tax reform. It is essential that any decisions align with the long-term goals of a sustainable and effective tax system for St. Maarten. That concludes the questions posed by the honorable members of Parliament. Madam Chair, I thank you for your questions.
Thank you, Minister of Finance, for those responses. Is there anything that a member of Parliament wishes to bring to the attention of the Minister of Finance in connection with with the answers given? MP Arian.